This is the Talent, Sales, and Scale Show. You did that in fairly fast order, and you're also helping others to do that in fairly fast order. So what would you say that if I'm looking to bring on somebody into that management position from my SDR BDR team, what should I, as the leader, be looking for in that SDR BDR that makes me think, hey, this would be a good manager, as opposed to moving them down to the account executive route?
Yeah. So it's becoming more common that SDRs are going straight to SDR management instead of moving to AE and then moving into SDR management. And I think that, like, I think about former SDRs and where I would have hesitation of making them an SDR manager if I was a VP of sales. And I think the main thing it boils down to is they have to have, if this is for SDRs, if you want to be a manager, right? If you've been SDR for 2 years, like, I want to be an SDR manager, I don't want to go to AE, I want to run an SDR team. Look for an opportunity to at least be a team lead, like a player coach, for maybe 6 months, and take that time to learn a skill that might be really useful for your manager. And here's the example: 3PL Central. I'm a successful AE interviewing for the SDR manager position. And Dan goes, my biggest worry is that I know there are SDR managers that are applying for this role who have had to have tough conversations and had to conduct one-on-ones with employees and had to do the people management thing before. You've never done that. You've also been a top performer here. And I know that top performers tend to think everybody should be a top performer and all their sales reps should be rock stars. So it's a tough thing. It's a tough pill for me to swallow. But I'm going to tell you, there are other skills that you have that not just doing the job of cold calling well provides as a benefit. And that was my ability to interpret data, the way I ran spreadsheets. Like, I'm a spreadsheet guru. I've been using Excel since I was like 12 years old. I was homeschooled, so my mom got me into like Excel and typing and Microsoft Word and PowerPoint when I was at a very young age. Like, I type 92 words per minute with like 100% accuracy. People are like, what the heck? Like, I've been typing since I learned how to type when I was 7 years old. You know, yeah. I was in middle school typing like this, and everybody's like poking their fingers, and they're like, how is he doing that? I was like, nobody remembers Mavis Beacon from 1996. Like, and shout out to any old Mavis Beacon users on the computer. It was an old typing game, taught people how to type on the PC. But it was the spreadsheets. And he's like, one, you are a fan of data. You love data. We had Insight Squared, and I was the only account executive who actually used Insight Squared because nobody else knew what the hell they were looking at. And he's like, that skill can be super valuable for me as a leader to rely on you to get things right. I created my own report dashboard as an AE in Salesforce. They gave me some ability to create my own KPI dashboard. I was the only AE that would log in and go to Chet's dashboard. And so I was a data nut, and I had that extra skill. He's like, I can teach you the people management stuff. I can give you a crash course on that. We can get you enrolled in a program. We can get you some training, but it's that super set of skills, aside from being good at cold calling and knowing how to build sequences and all that. So if you're looking to bring an SDR on as manager, look for the person that has that additional skill outside of the SDR, doing the SDR job really well. And if you're an SDR looking to get into that position, find a skill. If you use outreach, go get some certifications in outreach so you can go, look, all this stuff in outreach that needs to be done, I can manage the tool. If you use HubSpot, go get HubSpot certified. There's a bunch of free stuff on HubSpot where you can get certified. Show your manager, hey, I have all these certifications in HubSpot. You don't need to build sales sequences. You don't need to set up calendar links, round robin links. You don't need to do my reporting. Like, I can do all that, right? Because they're going to have to spend more time teaching you how to do the people management side. Find an area that they don't have to teach you something in that can take more time off their plate, since they're going to have to put a little time on their plate to help you learn how to manage people.
Now, how important do you think it is for somebody to be super successful at the role of SDR, BDR in order to go into a management role, versus how important is it for somebody to do kind of the things that you laid out, that player coach? Because the number one skill in management right now isn't supervisory, it's really coaching and mentoring, right? So how important is it for somebody to be a good executor at that SDR, BDR role versus somebody that's that good player coach manager that understands data and can tell the story of the KPIs?
So I think you have to be good at the job in order to
good
get there.
Or great?
You don't have to be great. And I'll give you an example of that. How good was Sean McVay at football?
Forgive me. I've given up on sports because I've been so heads down.
No, coach of the Rams, won the Super
Okay.
Bowl, right? Been to the Super Bowl twice. He's the youngest coach in NFL history to win a Super Bowl.
Nice.
How good was he at football? Not at all, right? He was a wide receivers coach when he was like in his when he was like 23, because he just like stopped playing in college. In college, he tried to play, and then he just stopped and started being an assistant coach while he was in college.
Yeah.
That wasn't good, right? How good was Bill Belichick at football? Patriots coach, right? I don't even know if the guy played football. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
one of the few great coaches I can think of who was actually good at what they do is Phil Jackson, and he's a pretty good ball player for the New York Knicks. But other than that, like you don't have to be great, but you have to be good. You have to know how to do it. You can miss quota. It's okay. Sales development's really tough. And I don't think success as an SDR, if you're hitting 58% of quota every month, yeah, that's a problem.
Yeah.
But if you're an 80 to 90%er, like it's such a tough job. I don't indicate someone's level of skill as much on hitting quota when they're an SDR as I would an AE, because there's so much more you can control as an AE. There's so much more seriousness. It's just, it's darts at a board as an SDR. Now you can have quality and quantity, but it is a tough one. So I say it's like, it's okay not to be hitting. I don't need someone who hits 110% of quota or even 100% every single month. There has to be some level of metric where it's like, hey, they're good, but they don't have to be great.